Hello and welcome everyone again into another video. And in today's video, let me turn on the lights. We have so above me you see Polywag, and I just made a video. I just finished recording a video about the Polywag Community Day. So make sure to go and watch it before this video because there is like lots of stuff you need to know. And now, welcome everyone again into another video. And in this video, I will be talking about the Great League Remix meta. And we will be talking about the best Pokemons, the top teams, just as usual, the top teams content, just for the top viewers in the world which are watching the video right now. So, what's a Great League Remix? A Great League Remix is Open Great League, but with some bans. There is lots of Pokemons that are banned and we cannot use. And basically the most used, I think the top 20 most used Pokemon were 25. I didn't count them, even though they are right there. I'm still not counting them. So basically the Pokemons that people are always saying that, oh, those Pokemons are always OP, and then they ban them, and then we will be stuck playing a Frostlass meta. But guess what? Frostlass is also banned for the third time from the Great League Remix, which is good. I'm actually excited to see that, to use Pokemons that aren't Frostlass and aren't Noctowl and aren't Lantern or Swampert or Deoxys Defense or Sableye or Umbreon or Walrein or Pelipper or Registeel or Trevenant or Venusaur or Altaria or Alolan Ninetale. I need to use something different stuff. I need to feel like I'm playing the game again as much as I used to. So if we look up BB it is a Pokemon that will ruin the meta. But usually when a new Pokemon comes, it doesn't ruin the meta, it just shapes the meta around this Pokemon. So either run it, or you run hard counters to it. And that Pokemon is Carbink, the fairy version of Bastiodon. It has Rock Throw, Rock Slide, Moon Blast. That's a lot. I don't know why they give it Rock Slide. It shouldn't learn Rock Slide. A bulky Pokemon like that should not have a cheap move. But Niantic gave it because it's a paid research. And you have to pay for that. I mean, I paid for the research, to be honest. And I'm not gonna be like other content creators was like, oh, I paid for it because I wanted to make a content about that and deliver the content. No, because I just don't care. I paid, well, actually, I didn't pay for it. Someone actually gifted to me. So thank you so much for gifting me the ticket, whoever did that. Oh no, the name is not on top of my head. But I stopped paying for this research a long time ago because I feel like if the research is not worth it, I shouldn't be buying it. So if no one buy it, Niantic will have to make better research so people can buy. Like, let's just not make a video a rant about how Niantic ran out stuff, and we'll talk about how this meta is. So the best Pokemon is Carbink. Second best Pokemon on PvPoke is Scrafty. This is kind of a sus rank because Scrafty doesn't reliably beat Vigoroth and Dubwall. Basically the one with energy lead here wins. Guagzire is here because Guag just destroys Carbink. So you're either going to be one of those people who run Carbink or one of the people who run Guagzire. Why do I say Guag? I don't know. I've always been saying Guag. I've never said Quag. And actually, every time I say Quag, I feel like I'm a duck. So I'd rather say Guag and say it like the wrong way. I don't want to sound like a duck. Regirock is always a sim hero. Whenever a new meta comes, Regirock is always in the top 5, but we will never see people use it. Why? Because it's just so bad against water Pokemons. Water Pokemons just bully this Pokemon. Whiscash, it's a bad Guagzire. It's a Guagzire that struggle against Flyers. I mean, Guag struggle against Flyers, but Guag is able to spam Stone Edges while Whiscash needs to throw Blizzards. Hopefully Niantic one day buff Water Pulse just to make it usable. Pidgeot, the sim, the hero, the champion of the sims, the champion of the low skill players. Sorry, if you're on Pidgeot, I do consider you a low skill player, but you don't need the skills in this game, let's be honest. You just need a Bastiodon and 2 cover to that, but you just need to win the lead. The game isn't that complicated, trust me. Alolan Sandslash is a good answer to some stuff in the meta that aren't the top 7, because all of the top 7 destroy Alolan Sandslash. Let's not skip the video. Shadow Machamp is a good answer to some of the stuff here, especially if they don't have fast move pressure. Diggersby is another sim hero where like, you always, this Pokemon always in the top 10. But is it gonna be usable? I don't know. We will see. Guzzlord was expected. So I was looking up the meta before Carbink, and Guzzlord was number 1. Carbink became a thing in the meta. I think Guzzlord became number 12. You know, it's like when you're the best in your company, you're best at work, and then they just hired someone who's more qualified than you, then people just don't care about you anymore. Lickitung. Decent Pokemon, never been bad. Shadow Golbat is here just because all of the stuff above are either ground Pokemons or fighters, and all of them get walled by flyers. So the second best flyer is Golbat, the first best one is Pidgeot. Sandslash, non-Shadow, is in the top 15. So let's talk about the main Pokemons in this cup. Wow, that is a Frostlass. Yes, I just said Frostlass is banned. Sorry guys, that was a misleading information. So, as always, I divide the cup into... Yo, yes, Pelipper is also banned. Good thing we went through the bans. Yeah. What else? Yeah, we have 2 Cresselias. Wow, yes. Sorry guys. We have to do like a quick review. Let me check. Okay, I think most of the stuff here. Oh, we have Pidgeot as a lead and a safe swap. That's another nice thing, yes sir. So, as always, I divide every meta into lead, safe swap, generalist. Lead are Pokemons that have decent fast move pressure and a good baiting move. Safe swaps are Pokemon that usually are able to flip matchups against their hard counters with energy lead. And generalists, they are good everywhere. They are good in the lead and swap, and they are good in the back as closers. And one of the best leads in this cup is Scrappy according to PvPoke, because it has counter and it can bait with power up punch, even though like if you climb high in the leaderboard, people tend to throw foul play. I feel like in the 2300, 2200, people tend to always power up punch because they would rather just shield than win lead, because that's an easier way to win. But sometimes people can be better at managing their energy, so that's why you need to throw foul play sometimes. Alolan Marowak, it's a decent Pokemon. The problem with like Shadow Marowak is one of the best Pokemons. Like, no, the Shadow version like upgraded the non-Shadow version of Marowak, and it became decent when you were able to get a Shadow one. Then Niantic buffed Lantern and Noctowl, and this Pokemon became unusable because Lantern and Noctowl are everywhere, so you can't use it. But since they are banned, you can use them. You can use Alolan Marowak now and send video to Zionic. It will get featured just like that. So that's the trick. If you want to send Zionic videos, just send him Marowak videos. I can guarantee that they will get featured. And by the way, I will start showcasing submitted battles from from you guys, the viewers. I will be leaving a link to the Google form. So you just need to submit the form, and you just need to answer some questions like, are you submitting when you want me to talk about the mistakes you're doing, or you just want me to roast the battles that are submitted, or you want me just to showcase? It's up to you. Whatever you choose will be the outcome of the submitted battles. Back to the video. Surfetch has always been a decent safe swap as long as it doesn't get hard walled. And in Themed Cup, people don't usually tend to run Charmers. I believe there will be some Wigglytuff and there will be some Clefaibles, but if they are some Clefaibles, it's easier than Wigglytuff, where like Surfetch will be able to get to 2 moves, and if they shield, you can shield and get to a 3rd one. Renicast form is a decent Pokemon here. Why? Because there are like lots of steel, lots of ground, some flyers, where you will need an electric move, and Renicast form has Thunder or Thunderbolt. I'm not sure which one. Regirock, as I said, it's a Sims hero. Regirock is able to beat some stuff that aren't ground users or fighters, and we just saw that the best Pokemons are ground users and fighters. So if you want to run it, I run it at your own risk. Don't be like, oh yes, it said this Pokemon is a good safe swap. No, a good safe swap in this cup though is Dragonair. You guys know I've been making lots of videos about Shadow Dragonair, and I think I will continue doing that because I spent lots of dust on that Pokemon, okay? At least I'm gonna get some content out of it. I make like $3 per video. Hopefully, hopefully in 2 months we'll be able to get like, I don't know, $50 and then dump them into incubators. Because like I work just to get coins and then buy incubators so I can make the dust back. So please consider subscribing and like the video if you like the content so far. Nigatsby, a Sims hero, always top 10 on PvPoke. I never see this Pokemon never seen a successful day. Well, for Nigatsby to be good, you need to get it to a situation where like none of the trainers has shields and you will have Mon much threat ahead. And good players always tend to save shields until the end of the game, so they don't get cheesed by something like a Diggersby. So this Pokemon, that's why this Pokemon will never be good. Obama Snow never been bad, always good in themed cubs. Togedemaru, why Togedemaru is good? Because if you can have it aligned against Auroras, the Flyers, the Ice, or the Waters, you can double Wild Charge, you can no-shield one of the moves, and you have massive resistances as a Steel and as an Electric. So you double resist the Flyers, you resist Ice, Rock, flying moves, poison jabs from the Pokemon I will be talking about in a second, which is Toxapex. Yeah, the name of the Pokemon is Toxapex. It's a good Pokemon, massive, good Pokemon. Like this Pokemon is extremely decent, very powerful, extremely bulky, and that's why it's good. It's a good generalist. Cofagrigus, aka Coffin, is a decent Pokemon as long as you dodge the normals. If you have it against the normals, it's not a fun matchup to be in. Carbink, which is the best Pokemon in this cup. Steelix. I am not sure if Steelix can beat Carbink or no. Maybe you need Heavy Slam or just run Iron Tail. And we have here Araquanid. Why Araquanid is capable of destroying all the mud boys and the fighters. I don't know about the Auroras matchup because I'm not familiar with that. The problem with Araquanid that doesn't have a good water charge move, and that's where it struggles. Alolan Sandslash is decent as a lead, as a generalist, but not good as a safe swap because you might get cheesed by a counter user. Obstagoon is there, you can use it. Dubwool, it's actually decent. And if you chip the Toxapex a bit and put it in double wild charge range, the cheap will be able to cheese it. Wigglytuff, one of the best Charmants in this cup. Some Pokemons that are worth mentioning. Gliscor is decent because it's a flyer, so it's able to beat the Mud Boys. Buzzwole, Day Beyond the Shadow Machamp. Guzzlord, as I said, it was supposed to be the best Pokemon with Hakumo, but because of Carbink, those Pokemons became unusable. Shadowvik, it's decent. You can play like the team Shadowvik Bastion, you can play Shadowvik Carbink in this cup. Whiscash, it's a bad Quagsire, but it's not the worst. So now we talked about the Pokemons, let's just talk about the top teams in the Great League Remix. The top 3 on PvPoke, this is not the top 3 on PvPoke, this is supposed to be the best team on PvPoke, which is, you know how it's always Pidgeot double steal, but since there is no steal, it's going to be like Pidgeot, something weak to counter, something that doesn't appreciate counter users. So this is the team basically. It's the top 3, I think, PvPoke. What's the top 3 PvPoke? So Carbink, Scrafty, and Pidgeot. Why Pidgeot, not those 3? Because all of these, up to the top 7, all of these lose to the counter users. So I denied that. I think the top 3 PvPoke are Pidgeot, Scrafty, and Carbink. If you use these 3, you're using the best 3 Pokemons in the cup, so you should have the best results, okay? The best team, I think, is Carbink, Scrafty, and Dubwool. Dubwool, as I said, is one of the best safe swaps if you are one of the people who hate Vigoroth. Dubwool is close to as annoying as Vigoroth, but with a bit more bulk and a faster charge moves. You get there in 4.5 seconds, while Vigoroth gets there in 5 seconds. So it's a slightly spammier than Vigoroth. In fact, it's a 3 fast moves, then 3 fast moves, then 3 fast move, and then the 4th one is 2 fast moves. This is how crazy spammy this Pokemon is. So these are like, if you're a meta slave, you run those 2. If you don't have Carbink, I mean, I do have it, but I haven't evolved it. You could run this Pokemon, this team: Pidgeot, Quagsire, Cresselia. If you see an opponent swapping a rock Pokemon or a Scrafty, you just go Cresselia and spam these Moonblast or Grass Nuts, and you should be fine. This Pokemon here, destroy Carbink. So with this team, if you see a Carbink or Carbink, if you see a Carbink in the lead, you just go Cresselia because it's the soft cancer. soft answer. Sorry guys. Another team that I was thinking of, if you don't have Pidgeot, if you just wanna catch those Pidgeot players in the lead, and if you don't mind, if you hate Pidgeot and you don't have Carbink, I think Toxapex might end up being the best lead for you. And to cover that, you need a Scrafty in the back and a Slash. So Toxapex is able to beat Scrafty comfortably, Pidgeot comfortably. Carbink, I didn't check the matchups, but technically your Poison Jab is a neutral, and you have Brian. It's a trash fat charge move, but it's still super effective, right? My favorite, this is the team I used to run a couple seasons ago with the last time Remix was around, which is Renicast form with Noctowl or Mandibuzz with a Dragalge in the back, and then Smash King was running Steelix after, because Steelix got a buff. What was the buff to Steelix? I think it was just the Dragon Tail buff or something. So these are the teams I'm expecting to be meta. I mean, not the teams, like, I'm not expecting people to run the same exact teams. I usually expect you to copy 2 of the 3, and then you choose 3 based on whatever you see on the back. Like Pidgeot with Gwag, or Pidgeot with Cresselia, Carbink with Scrafty, or Carbink with Dubwool, Pidgeot with Carbink, Carbink with Scrafty, Scrafty with Pidgeot, this stuff. Now let's talk about some teams from previous season. And as I said, that this team used to be one of the best teams, because Aurus is too busted of a Pokemon if they don't have a... If Aurus gets aligned against something that's not the counter user, you can actually beat anything. Even sometimes when they have a hard counter is... That's not a counter user, it's say like a Mud Boy. It's not a bad matchup as long as you have energy lead. I use Gligar or Gliscor to bait out the ice, and then you destroy the ice with Aurorus. Wow-Tastix, Toxapex, Wow-Tastix. I don't know why do I have this name. Wow-Tastic is one of the viewers on my live streams. You might see him in the comment section below. I think he suggested this team last Great League Remix. So Toxapex with Dubwool and Diggersby. Another team that I think is decent. This was my favorite in Season 9, where like you run Surfetch, and Renicast form was a decent safe swap back then with Mandibuzz or Noctowl, depend on your preference. This team, FP6 used to run this team. It was Registeel, not Steelix, but since Registeel is banned, I think Steelix would make a good substitute here. Another team that was popular, which is Triple Normal. Triple Normal is extremely decent in this cup, where you can't run Noctowl, remember, but you can run Pidgeot, okay? So I'm like, oh yeah, so this thing is banned. No. Yes, run Pidgeot. Pidgeot is better. With Dubwool and another ground user or a counter user, I recommend, if not Vigoroth, you run Diggersby, because Diggersby is capable of walling the Carbink. Ferguson used to run this team. I don't know how good this team will be, but I wanted to feature an Escavalier team, because Escavalier is capable of destroying the Carbink. And it's not bad against Crafty and these stuff. It's not bad against the Mud Boys. With Shadow Charizard or the Dragalge, depending on what your preference is. You can actually use also Guzzlord if you don't want to be weak to the Mud Boys and have a better Mud Boys answer. You can check his live stream at twitch.tv/Ferguson. I'm assuming he's gonna play one of those 3 because he loves Escav, he loves Shadow Charizard, and he loves Whiscash. There is the Magic Mason team from back in the days. He used to run Shadow Machamp, Shadow Lapras, Frostlass. Frostlass doesn't exist anymore because it's banned. You could run Coffin. It's a good substitute to Frostlass. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. This is the end of the video. If you like the video, please leave a like. If you're to the channel, make sure to subscribe. And see you in the next video. Peace.